him up.
You must think I've got money.
I know you got money. Open that saddlebag and throw it down.
I ain't got no money, farmer. Just spent 3 days at Faro, up the railhead. Clean as a whistle.
Open that saddlebag. Open it. You hurry it up.
Steady, boy.
Easy. Stay there.
Hold it. Hold it. Hold it, boy. Please.
From out of the West, Dick Powell's Zane Grey Theater.
One thing about buying a timepiece in the early West, you really had to watch it. A good watch like this, about $2, usually carried a 7-day guarantee, starting from the time it left the factory in St. Louis. Of course, the trip took 9 days. One of the first watches in the early West, or any place else for that matter, was the sundial. It was accurate and it was cheap. It only had one problem. How do you get that thing in your vest pocket? Some of the cowboys told time with tobacco. They figured it took 5 minutes to smoke a cigarette, so if it took them 6 cigarettes to ride from one place to another, they knew it was a half-hour trip. A chain smoker was a mighty handy man to have around. Every town had a different way of announcing the time. In some towns, they'd shoot a rifle 6 times at high noon. You knew the time all right, but were too nervous to care. In some places, they'd announce high noon by dropping a red ball from the top of the highest building. That worked pretty good. That is, if you had a watch to remind you that it was time to look for the red ball. Tall building. In the story we've chosen for you this week, The Doctor Keeps a Promise, you'll see how that evasive thing called time has nothing whatsoever to do with our plot.
Señor médico, por favor, abra la puerta. ¿Está el médico aquí?
Coming. I'm coming, just a minute. I'm coming. Hey.
¿Cuándo? A las 3.
¿A dónde?
No sé. Vino a la casa y no pudo hablar mucho.
Morning. Afternoon.
Es el médico, ¿no?
No, Dick, it's not Evangelis.
Good afternoon, Jenny.
What's the matter?
I'm sorry I didn't get to the door in time. I was asleep. Didn't get in till dawn. Mrs. Rodriguez, Jenny, you know her. Baby girl. 4 o'clock this morning. Well, amigo, what's in your mind?
Señor...
Can't speak English. This is Panchito Morales.
Oh, Panchito. ¿Cómo está? ¿Qué pasa?
Nada, señor.
Well, you sure got well in a hurry.
You tell him yourself. Alan, come here a minute, will you?
Sure. Excuse me, por favor.
Sit down. Thank you. You know, I've been talking about retiring.
Ever since I came here.
This time I mean it. I had planned on turning my practice over to you.
Oh, I see you got a rousing vote of confidence. Well, it ain't quite that bad. It's just that a town this size can use 2 doctors.
That's right. Why can't you be honest with him?
You don't have to tell me. I will anyway. For 20 years now, Dr. Caslin's taken care of the town folks around here. You've been here for 3. So far, you've seen fit to spend most of your time with those squatters out on the bench. You want me to apologize for that?
Now, Alan.
You run a bank, Mason. Someone comes into you, wants to open a savings account. You ask their family history and social standing.
It's not the same thing.
You're doggone right it ain't. You get a pedigree on everybody you sell cows to? Now, wait a minute. I came here 3 years ago. I hung up my shingle with the simple-minded idea that whoever beats on my door, I'll try to take care of. They told me in medical school, that's why I became a doctor. Nobody said the town of Harmony was an exception. Harmony ain't the exception. I'm the exception. You go right on with your squatters. We'll get ourselves another man for the town. As long as I'm running things around here, you're the second best doctor. Understand? Catlin, I want you in my office first thing in the morning. Mason.
Nothing personal, Alan. Every one of us tied to this Joe Snyder Cattle and Land Company. Cut those ties, and we die. Find yourself another town, Alan. You deserve a better one than this.
Oh, Mr. Stroessner, I paid for the coffee.
Oh? That was nice of him. If you decide to tell me what's up, you know where I am. Come in. Oh, come on in, Jenny. You gotta forgive me. I'm kind of upside down today. Now, if you women could have your babies in the daytime, doctors might live a lot more like humans. Well, Jenny? Come on now, what's up?
Dr. Mack, I gotta have help. But I can't tell you anything about it. I can't tell anyone. You see, you've got to help me, Doctor.
Come on now, sit down. Look, that's an oath that doctors have been living by for a couple of 1,000 years. It says, what you tell me is your business and my business and nobody else's. If you won't tell me, I can't help you.
You've got to come with me. Right away. There's a man hurt, bad. I just went to see him.
How bad?
He was shot.
Where?
In the chest.
And it can't wait. Where is he?
Dr. Mack, if they find him, they'll kill him. They won't ask any questions. They'll just kill him. He's my husband. If they ask you where he is, will you have to tell them?
Look, if you want me to help you,
Promise me you won't.
I don't have to promise you anything, Jenny. Wait. I promise. Where is he?
And we'll have to go separately. I'll meet you there.
Doc.
Well, what's up, Marshal?
Joe Snyder conjured up a robbery for himself.
Robbery?
Well, Judd Moore's a day overdue with $900 from a herd of cattle they drove up to the railhead last week. He was probably drunk in some saloon up there.
Where are you heading?
Oh, colicky baby out on the bench.
Must be a serious case. Can't tell I've ever seen your horse sorted up like that.
Oh, he frets himself into it. Had to fight him all the way out here.
Well, you see any sign of Judd Moore, you...
I'll tell him you're looking for him.
Thank you. Let's go. Hasta la vista, Doc.
Adios.
Oh, hold it.
He's been doing that for an hour.
Give me some hot water. Agua caliente, por favor. You better wait outside.
I'll stay.
Up to you. There, la mesa. Yeah, boy. Steady. Steady. Atta boy. Yeah. This one's on me. Atta boy. Steady. Steady. Thanks. You were a great help.
I promised myself I wouldn't ask.
I don't know. I don't know how it'll make out. But one thing I do know. He's a fighter.
He always was.
So are you. I didn't know you had a husband, Jenny.
You never asked me.
Oh, there are a lot of things I'm not asking you.
And there's a lot I can't tell you. Not now. But I want you to know he's not what you might think. Please. What you don't know, they can't make you tell.
That's right. That's right.
No, I didn't.
You sure?
You think I wouldn't know if I treated a gunshot wound?
You sure you hit him bad?
Couldn't miss him that close. Near as we could tell to the tracks, Judd hit him right in the chest. Looked like he went down on his hands and knees and crawled up to the horse. There was blood on the trail.
Then he'd have to have a doctor. Dr. McMurdo. Maybe you took care of a gunshot wound today.
Gunshot wound? Who?
If we knew, we'd go after him. He's got $900 that belongs to me.
Where were you heading when we run into you on the trail?
Oh, I told you. Mrs. Vasquez, her baby had a case of colic.
Did you see anyone else?
Mrs. Rodriguez. She had a baby girl yesterday morning. There's only 2 doctors around here. Somebody took care of a man with a bullet in him, and it wasn't Caslin.
Well, maybe he just crawled off and died. We'd have found him. His trail led to where Judd's horse was standing.
Judd, what happened to you?
He spooked my horse when he fired at me. I fell off and hit my head in a rock. When I woke up, he was gone. And so was my horse.
And it turned up at the barn a half hour ago with blood on the saddle.
Judd says he's a farmer, so he'd holler for you.
Doc, if you did see him, you better speak up.
Sorry.
Good night.
He's lying.
Cattleman.
I know what you're gonna ask me.
Why didn't you tell them?
Promised I wouldn't.
But you can't obstruct justice.
Justice? You know what they're asking me to do? To pass sentence on a man. If I had told Stroh-Snyder where the boy was, his riders have been out and dragged that boy up to the nearest tree and hanged him before sunup. No trial, no nothing.
We've got a marshal.
Who can't police the whole county. They'd have hanged him.
I'm not so sure. You going to change your mind?
Good night, Cass. Whatever in connection with my professional practice, or not in connection with it, I may see or hear, I will not divulge, holding that all such things should be kept secret. Wake up, McMurdo. Get up.
You can't all be sick.
Get up, I said.
I was expecting you.
Vasquez hasn't seen you for 2 weeks. Rodriguez since yesterday morning. You gonna tell us where you went? I was in hopes you'd change your mind. Who was it?
Dr. Mack. Dr. Mack. I'll get Dr. Cass.
No. No, stay here. Help me. Help me. Oh. What time is it?
7:30. Let me help you.
Thanks. I had some callers. They messed up the room a little.
I knew they'd try.
I didn't tell them.
Doesn't make any difference now.
I was afraid of that. When?
2 hours ago. I brought his body in.
Well, he didn't have much of a chance.
He was so young. 2 years was all we had. We tried to homestead out on the bench. Got a crop in.
It's good wheat land out there.
It's a fine crop. Right up to harvest.
Then what?
They drove a herd of cattle over it.
Stroh-Snyder.
One of his foremen. That left us with nothing. Dave couldn't get a job riding anywhere. We couldn't get a loan because we weren't proved up.
So you went to work at the Blue Bonnet?
To save enough money for seed. But I couldn't make enough.
You mean your husband pulled that hold up to get seed money?
That's all of it.
Seed money.
I'll help you clean up.
No.
Put that away. I won't let you.
I'm just going to return his money.
But I was going to do that.
You stay here. Don't you leave this room.
That's the fellow, all right.
Where's the money?
Now, we'll get to that in a minute.
What's his name?
Ya le dije que no habla inglés, señor.
Speak English.
His name's David Breck.
20 years. You still haven't learned how to ask a man's name in Spanish.
What happened to you?
Ask Mr. Stroh-Snyder.
You did this?
He was shielding a criminal. Move on, McMurdo. This is none of your business now.
You're awful wrong.
Did you hear what I said?
Steady, boys. Steady. All right, Stroh-Snyder. Now you know how it felt last night. Here's your money. All of it. You're right. I was shielding a criminal. I had to know why a man shot in the chest with a bullet lodged close to his spine would crawl on his hands and knees for a wallet full of money. I found out why. Because you trampled his wheat in the dirt and left him to starve. I pledged myself to care for the sick and suffering. And I found most of it out there on the bench, where Caslin doesn't go, where the rest of you are too scared of the Stroh-Snyder Cattle and Land Company to lend a hand. That man was crawling toward money to keep him and his wife alive after his crop went down. It was money for seed. He was crawling toward money for seed. I'd made up my mind to leave, find myself another town. But not now. I'm staying. I got 32 families on the bench out there to look after. I'm all they got. They need me.
Alan, wait a minute. I'm not sending for a new doctor. We've got one.
Take care of the money, Mason.
It's your money.